Austin was rummaging through his old house one day in search of items he held close to him during his childhood. He found his Nintendo GameCube and began to reminisce about all the fun games that he used to play with it. He recalled that his favorite game was Luigi's Mansion. Eager to find the game and play it again, he searched for it all day until nightfall. Many games were found, but it was just his luck that he could not find the one he really wanted. Admitting defeat, he went back to his room and plugged in his GameCube just to see if it even powered up. It did, however, thankfully. And not until he booted up the main screen that GameCubes play when there's no disc inserted, did he realize the memory cards were actually in the GameCube itself. Since he was longing to play Luigi's Mansion, he checked to see if his old save file was still on the memory card. And to his luck, it was. But not under the name Luigi's Mansion. Instead, the save file read only "Good Night," which was weird, as that's what the game displayed when you died. The icon of the game was still there, and completely normal, so he didn't think about it anymore. He went to bed and woke up the next day with an even stronger urge to play that game. He went around to his local game stores and asked about Luigi's Mansion, but none of them had it in stock. He had the same results with every store he checked, and it began to anger him. He then resorted to what every person with the internet does when they want something but can't find it: checking eBay. Oddly enough, there was only one user selling the game. He had posted pictures of the disc, and it looked like it was in perfect condition, with a few minor, negligible scratches on the back. Austin decided to buy it, and it arrived at his house several business days later. Filled with anticipation to relive his childhood glory, he tore open the envelope and got his game out. He flipped it over to look at the back, and the scratches did not seem to be in the same position in the ones depicted online. Upon closer inspection, he almost thought the scratches spelled out a word: "Good night." Ignoring this, he put in the game and turned on the machine. The main menu screen opened up, but he realized that there was only one save file instead of 3 like in the normal game. The save file was up to Area 4, which implied that he had either beaten the game or was close to it. Something odd also caught his eye before he selected the game. The boo counter that told him how many boos he still had to catch said 50 out of 50. But the boo's body was gone. Only the red eyes were left, which usually only appeared on King Boo, as the normal boos have black eyes. He selected the game, only to be killed immediately. "Good night," said the game in almost a whisper. That was odd, because the game never spoke that aloud before, or at least not that he remembered. There was a power surge too, and he had to reboot his GameCube. Out of curiosity, he checked the memory card for the save file again. The icon of Luigi had a horrified face that almost looked as if he was melting. Once again, it still read, "Good night." He went back to the game and selected the only save file once more. He was immediately spawned into the final boss battle, which, again, never happened. No matter what, Luigi is always supposed to spawn in the main room, the foyer. Bowser fell from the sky like usual, but something was different still. This time he was more demonic looking, with longer and sharper horns, and his yellow scales were now a dark red. Bowser roared, and the battle began. No matter what Austin did, he was unable to evade any of Bowser's attacks. He died almost instantly, and the game read again.
Good night.
In a slightly lower-pitched voice. It was clear this time, and no longer a whisper. Again his power surged. He hoped it didn't happen again, because if the power surges too much, his parents will get pissed at him. He booted the game back up and checked the memory card. Luigi's neck was all that was shown in the icon, and the game save read, "Cursed." As much as he did not want to, he booted up the game one final time. The boo counter now had strange, flickering characters instead of numbers. Instead of 50 out of 50, it read more like pi, delta, epsilon, unrecognized character squares. The red eyes were also gone, and in its place was Bowser's head. Bloodied eyes sunk deep into its sockets. Austin clicked the file and began to play. It was normal this time. He spawned in the main room and checked his map. All of the places were unlocked, but one room was dark red with the words "Good night" on it. Words never appeared on the map, so out of curiosity he made his way there. On the very top floor, he opened the door. The walls were red, with blood splatters everywhere. Portraits of demonic ghosts were everywhere, and one was rattling. This one was the most terrifying of all, the most evil looking that Austin had ever seen. He sucked it up with the Poltergust 3000, and immediately Luigi's health shrank to 0. The game screamed, "Good night!" The power went out completely at his house, but his TV was left on. A frightening image was shown. It was him, except his face was melting and dripping off his skull down his body. He screamed and was instantly knocked to the ground. A looming figure stood over him, but he couldn't see as everything was dark or blurry.
Good night.
And Austin was knocked lifeless, slamming against the wall. Neighbors claimed to have heard a loud, almost alien scream. One neighbor was outside on his afternoon jog, and he actually saw the lights go out in Austin's house. His story goes like this to reporters. "The lights went completely out, and then a flash of green shone through the windows. I heard Austin scream in panic, and then a thump. I went up to his house to see if I could help, because it sounded like they were all in danger. As I turned the doorknob, I could have sworn I heard someone whisper, 'Good night,' to me. I walked in, and no one was there. Only a very small disc, which I guess was a video game. It was green and had the name Luigi's Curse. I began to explore around, and that is where I found Austin, lifeless, a shocked look of horror frozen forever on his face, and a scar on his forehead that looked like someone was trying to scalp him. I called 911, but he was pronounced dead on scene." Professionals and doctors claimed that Austin died of a heart attack in his autopsy report. Maybe it was, and maybe it was not. I guess it is really up to you to decide. One puzzling factor, though, was that scar on his forehead. No one seemed to remember him having it, but it was sure there now. His family decided that he should be cremated and his ashes kept. As he was being cremated, however, the crematorium personnel could not help but notice the crackling fires that turned his bones to dust almost had the cadence of someone saying, "Good night."